special video, and that is one all about my 70 days of hand lettering project. If you've been following me on Twitter or Instagram for a while, you've probably seen me post some little hand lettered pages over the past couple months, and that is because my book arts and lettering teacher this past semester assigned us a project where we had 70 days straight of hand lettering, and this went on all the way from October till January, so some of these are rather old and some of them I did pretty recently, but today I thought I would go ahead and show you all the pages in this because I've been posting them on Instagram and Twitter, and a lot of people have asked me to show you guys the whole book, so today that is exactly what I'm going to be doing. I would highly recommend that if you are into hand lettering or any sort of illustration of any sort, to try and do 70 days straight of it. It's okay if you miss a couple days and have to catch up later, but it is a really good idea to kind of give yourself like a set amount of time to try and complete 70 pages, because doing this project I feel like I really improved my skills with hand lettering since it's something I've always loved, and I just really enjoyed doing this project. So without further ado, let's get right on into it. So the very first page simply says, "It's October 1st. I wrote this, as you can imagine, because it was October 1st. It was the first day of doing this project, and it was kind of just the first thing that I had on my mind. Page 2 is actually the lyrics from Vampire Weekend's Step, and it says, "Wisdom's a gift, but you trade it for youth." I've always enjoyed this line, and I actually continued it onto the next page. I just kind of wanted to illustrate the song because I think I was listening to it at the time, so that's what I did for page 2. And then moving on to page 3, I continued that quote saying, "Age is an honor, it's still not the truth." And I used similar fonts to make those two kind of look the same, but I prefer the first one. Page 4, I did a rather fancy large capital R. My last name begins with an R, so R is kind of like my go-to when it comes to picking random capital letters to illustrate. With this one I wanted a combination of thin strokes and thicker ones, and I really like how the flourishes turned out. This next one now reminds me of the Adele song, but this just says hello in some script handwriting that I just sort of scribbled on with a pencil and then ended up filling in with a darker pen. I always find myself choosing hello whenever I'm like trying out new pens or anything. It's just like a nice word, lots of loops. Page 6 is an ampersand that I actually posted on Instagram. This I spent so much time on, you have no idea. So many rulers were involved with this one. I just love ampersands, I always have, and they just kind of symbolize a lot of things for me. Page 7, I wrote the word whatever. This is just my handwriting, but I wanted it to be very slanted and also very delicate, even though the word is kind of like a harsh word, so that is kind of what I was going for with this one. You've probably seen some things like that on Pinterest. People always take like swear words and make them look pretty, so I kind of wanted something that looked very fancy but just said whatever. This next page says someday, and honestly I just really don't like how this one turned out. I did spend some time on this one, so I left it in there. Page 9 is the Arctic Monkeys lyrics saying, "Forever isn't for everyone, is forever for you." I've just always enjoyed this quote, the way that it sounds. I feel like it sounds just very clever the way that it's written. Page 10 has a very cartoonish letter Y, and this is one of the few uses of color I have in this book. This next one says learn, and I really like how this one turned out. I think I copied that L from a Pinterest like chalkboard kind of thing. Oh man, this next one, I spent my entire life doing this one. Like when this book started out, I seriously put so much time and effort into every single page. It says always, if you can't tell. Page 13 is a letter K, and this one's a little similar to my letter R in the beginning. I just wanted something with flourishes on the end. This one, instead of having like multiple per curl, it just has one, if that makes any sense. Page 14 says wow, and halfway through doing this one, I realized that it also says mom if you flip it over. How I forgot about that, I don't know. I just wanted this one to look kind of like Halloween-ish because this was around Halloween time. Page 15, I wrote the word tomorrow in a graffiti style font. Page 16 says so West Coast, and this one is quite different from the pages previous to it because it is very dainty, very Pinterest-esque if you're familiar with sort of fonts like this. They're very popular in Pinterest at the moment. 17, I wrote the word doubt, and I can't remember where I got the inspiration for this one, but I think I was kind of playing off the fact that I would like doubt my capabilities when doing this and end up tearing out a lot of pages. So there you have it, the word doubt. Page 18 is a block letter N. I didn't use a ruler on this one, and I kind of regret that, but I think it's kind of fun. It's very bold. Page 19 is easily the one that I'm the most proud of. This one took me a good 2 hours at least, and I'm super proud of it. Like honestly, this is my favorite one in the whole book, and I really love it. I want it on a t-shirt or something. It just says the word wow with some distortion in the middle. This next page I wrote my sorority's motto, which is do good, and this one I really wanted it to be nice and loopy and kind of like create a circle. Page 21, I went for a simple ampersand. Once again, I love ampersands, what can I say? Page 22 22, I wrote Under the Moon, and this is in the style of the Vampire Weekend quotes that I used previously, but this is for some lyrics by the band Peace. Page 23, I have the letter B with a snake around it. This I actually saw on the internet somewhere, and I tried to recreate it because I just couldn't wrap my mind around how well they did it, and I just wanted to like test myself to see if I could like create something similar. So that's what I went for there. Page 24, I have a little banner with the word later in the middle. I wanted this to kind of look like tattoo style lettering, and like with a classic banner that would usually say like mom in the middle or something, but I wrote later for some reason. Guess that's just what I was feeling. Next up we have a lowercase a, and this one I made in my art and text class while we were having a lecture. It's very simple and clean, and that's why I like it. This next one I did super quickly, and it just says thank you, and I was just trying to go for something that looked purposely messy, I guess. 27 is a letter Z. We had to recreate something out of a classical book that we were given, and this is the one that I chose because I really liked all of this kind of stuff. Page 28, we have a block letter A. I got some inspiration off of Tumblr when doing this one, and I just love the shadows of it. It looks very geometric. Page 29 was another one we had to do out of the book, and I don't really like how it turned out. I just didn't really like that style of lettering we had to choose from. 30 is a very densely illustrated drop cap. I chose the letter H and just surrounded it with like some ivy and flowers. Page 31, we have a giant letter A. The next page says the word deal in kind of like a saloon style font. Next we have the number 27, and that is my lucky number if you didn't know that. 34, we have another messy one, and this one says who knows, who cares, and this is some lyrics as well from the band Local Natives. Next up we have the word yes, and I just wanted something using negative space, so this is what I came up with. It kind of reminds me of a neon sign. Page 36, I wrote the word whatever, and this I wanted to look very messy, like it was done with like a paintbrush or something, even though I did it with very tiny pens. 37 has a speech bubble which says the word sorry. 38 says all right on a nice big slant. 39, we have here we go again, which is another saying I thought I would put into words. Next page we have the phrase oh well, because that is something I say a lot, so I thought that I would write it. 41 is another Arctic Monkeys tribute. This says Are You Mine, which is one of their songs. I wanted to incorporate a banner as well as some negative space, so that is what I ended up doing here, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Next we have see you later, which is another phrase I say from time to time. Page 43, we have an uppercase A made out of bubbles. One of our pages had to be like made up of small objects, so that was me checking off that requirement. Page 44 is a capital letter R. Like I said, love the capital letter R. 45, we have the word hype, and this I wrote in kind of like a groovy 70s font. 46, I have an uppercase N, which I laced together with some little rivets. I was inspired by all those lace-up tops that are so popular right now. I took forever with this one using rulers and everything because there are so many lines. Page 47, we have another vintage kind of saloon style font. 48, I have an uppercase M in a dark red color. Not a huge fan of this one, but I left it in there. Page 49, we have a bubble letter R. Page 50 says the word bomb with a bomb as the O. This was checking another requirement where you had to incorporate an object. Page 51 says Beach Baby as a little shout out to Bon Iver, one of my favorite songs by him. 52 has the letter L. This is a classic like English style font. Page 53 says the word hello with a little flourish. This I did with a very thin calligraphy pen, and like I said, hello is a great word to write with new pens. 54 says the word good, and this I featured on my Vlogmas, so you might have already seen this one. Page 55 says the word riot. Got the inspiration from this one on Pinterest, so I can't take all the credit for it, but I just loved the brush strokes on this one, so I wanted to emulate it. 56, we have a little lowercase a. 57, I wrote West Coast in kind of a negative space spaghetti noodle kind of letter. 58, we have a lowercase n in a similar font to my deal one that I showed you already. 59, we have this fancy A. Page 60, we have the word ba. 61, we have a lowercase r with some negative space drips. 62, we have an A, which is kind of being blurred off the page, which actually started out as an accident. 63, we have LR because those are my initials, and I might end up using this as a logo or something. 64, we have 123 because that is the time that I was working on this page. 65, we have a simple little graffiti S. 66 is this geometric K. 67, I wrote take your time in a messy brush hand kind of font. Try to be clever with that one if you catch my drift. We have a classic lucky number 7. Tried to make it look like a little lottery wheel. 69, we have the word oui, which is yes in French, and I just wanted something with negative space again. And the very last page, number 70, I have the letter B written in rope letters because I saw some sort of tutorial on how to tie rope on Pinterest, and I was inspired to make that. So there you have it. That is the complete letter per day sketchbook. That was a whole lot of pages. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some more of my work. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and comment down your favorite page below, and I will see you all with a new video very soon. Bye guys!